Here we go. Okay. So you're all very, very welcome today to the learning table. I'm incredibly excited because Antonia Grimard, who worked really closely with me for over a year on She's the Boss, is going to impart all of the amazing wisdom that she has. Antonia is really, really good at helping you clarify your message and also making you stand out with your messaging and with pitch decks or whatever it is that you might want to be doing to really get some cut through when it comes to your communications. So, and I don't know whether I've said all of that right, Antonia, other than I friggin' adore you. You're fabulous. I would suggest that everybody goes into speaker view in the top right, because then as Antonia speaks, she'll be full screen. And also it means that when she shares, you'll get to see her and not all the rest of us. But it's totally up to you. I'm just moving it to that now. And I'm handing over to the beautiful Antonia.
Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. I really appreciate that. Well, yes, I'm going to go straight into it, pretty much because I want to give you everything, all the tools. So I don't do a bit of fluffing about. I do all about giving you the tools so that you can ignite interest in your business. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip it over to presentation mode. Now, how do I do that, Jules?
So you just share screen down the bottom.
Yes, ma'am.
And choose the screen that's got the, wherever your presentation is.
Dual monitors. This might just be a bit shaky as I get this going.
No, that's totally fine.
Now, it's not.
Oh, we should have practiced before, I didn't think. So if you share screen, it doesn't come up with screen, whiteboard, and something with a Google Chrome or a Safari kind of thing in the bottom.
Let me just see if I can just go to presentation mode. You tell me if you can see this.
Sure.
You see that?
Nope. You have to share the screen first.
Well, I am. Sorry, ladies.
It's all right.
So it gives me one participant can share at a time, multiple participants, or advanced sharing options, and that's it.
So maybe when I give you a co-host, let me just check that. It does say your co-host, so you should have. I'll tell you what, I'll make you the host and see whether that allows you to
let me
share your screen then. And what you need is you need one tab open with the presentation, and then when you go into share screen, it should be one of the options when it comes up.
One more time. Oh yes, please mute. Yeah. I suppose you can see that.
Amanda and Kerry, would you mind just putting yourselves on mute just for a second?
It's not coming up.
That is so weird. Oh no, I don't want a technology issue like that. I thought it would be weird because we've shared screens so many times.
Yeah. It's really straightforward.
So when you do click on share screen at the bottom.
Yeah, it goes multiple participants can share simultaneously.
No. But are you clicking on the actual icon for share screen?
Yes, ma'am.
It shouldn't say anything about it. Just says select a window or application you want to share.
Nope, I just get the advanced sharing options or.
That sounds like you're in settings.
Or multiple participants. No, I'm just down the bottom. Share a screen.
So Antonia, just at the top of that bit where it's got advanced options at the top, does it give you a basic tab?
No.
I don't. If anyone has any ideas, please jump in because I have never had this before.
Jules, so it just says to give her permission. Have you got your permission set so she can?
Oh, yeah. Are you looking at does it say PowerPoint as virtual background portion of so there's three little tabs that come up.
So at the bottom of the screen is share.
Yeah, and when you share screen and it pops up, doesn't it have three little tabs along it that go basic, advanced, and files?
No, it's got multiple participants, advanced sharing options.
So I would Antonia, just try multiple participants.
Yep. Got that.
And now what does it give you?
I mean, okay. Can you see that?
No, we can only see you.
So just wait, slideshow.
I might just pause the recording for a minute. Hold on, press. Okay, we've finally got it working, and it's all
Okay.
over to you, Antonia. How to
So
ignite
which screen are you
interest in your
seeing?
business?
Which screen are you seeing?
How to ignite interest in your business.
Excellent. Yay.
And somebody in the bath with very long black heels.
That couldn't possibly be me. Okay, start again. So we're going to talk about a topic that is, sorry, I've got a bit of a catch.
A frog in your throat.
Yeah, hold on a second. We're going to talk about a topic that is close to every founder's heart. And
Excuse me
it's
for interrupting. Jules, are you recording?
Oh, yes, I am. All right, so we'll all put ourselves on mute and hand it over to Antonia now.
Right. So thanks again. And thanks for your patience as we got started. So we're here to cover a topic, a crucial topic that is close to everybody's heart. And that's how to ignite interest in your business. Sorry, I've got a catch in my voice, so excuse me while I work through this. And to start us off, I want to tell you a story of how I became an entrepreneur at just 13 and how that business didn't have a future and why that was okay. And okay, it's not going. You see, it all started with beanbags. At 13, I was walking home from school and I saw this beanbag shop and it had this beautiful pile of offcuts from beanbags in the window. And I thought, maybe I could make something out of it. So I walked in and I said, can I have it? And they said, yes. And now this is the joy of youth. I had no business training, but I instinctively knew what I had to do. I needed to make something that I could sell. And I quickly figured out that my market was the kids at school. Then I thought, well, what could I make that I could make? What could I make from vinyl? So that was a no-brainer. It was pencil cases. Now, financial modeling. I had no money to invest in my business idea. So I thought, well, how am I going to keep it closed if I can't buy a zipper? And product development, I just threaded a pencil through the vinyl. Fantastic. Then I thought, okay, what could my fellow students afford? I figured $3. Now, my trick was, how could I make it more exciting than the ones that they bought at the store? Because it's a big decision for kids to buy a pencil case. So market differentiation, how was I going to be different? So I decided that the thing that attracted me to the vinyl was the colors. So what I did was I offered them the opportunity of picking their own vinyl colors so they could custom make their own pencil cases. Now look, that business went gangbusters, and I didn't stop until all that vinyl was gone. I'm sure my mother was very happy to see the back of it. And that's how I became an entrepreneur. No, I don't know about you, but I didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to start a business. But, that's the way we all start. And it's a natural thing. For me, that was just the beginning, though. Since then, I've created far more lucrative product lines, started an export company, and I had a chain of sales agents across the US. I've had service and consulting businesses and had international and displayed and held, being at the New York gift fairs and went right across America doing the gift fairs, which is so much fun. And even worked with Jules to help grow She's the Boss, as she mentioned. I am definitely a serial entrepreneur, and I have a passion for figuring out what makes a business succeed. You see, what I love is helping founders build extraordinary businesses. And whilst working with them, I have found that some of their ventures were right on track, and some have found themselves frustratingly stuck in businesses that weren't living up to their expectations. Now, what those struggling businesses have in common is a founder that usually has that wild look in their eyes because nothing they're doing is making a difference. Their new hires can't solve their problems, and their support teams are at a loss on how to deliver results. So what is this black magic some businesses use to ignite interest in their business that proves so successful for them? I've been searching for this for a very long time. It's like the secret sauce. How come some businesses do so well and others don't? That is the question at the heart of every entrepreneur's drive to ignite a profound interest in their solution. So, is it their vision that has failed them? Now, let's just pause for a moment there and talk about vision, because everyone's idea of what a vision is can be quite different. For some, it can simply be a declaration like, I want to be the largest importer of figs in Australia. Now, that's an amazing goal for sure, but it isn't a vision that you can build your company around. You see, a vision gives meaning rather, and charts a course for the future. It creates the kind of clarity and purpose we all need to drive our next step in business and in life, right? You see, a vision is bigger than a goal. You can have a vision to be a global sensation, but to start on your vision, you'll need some goals that build towards that vision. Developing a vision is part of the groundwork you need to complete before you can hope to connect with your market and thrive. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't answer my question on my first slide. But do you remember how I told you in my story about how I became an entrepreneur and that business had no future? I simply started a business and sold something. My goal was to generate revenue, and it fulfilled that goal. I didn't need a vision for the future and wasn't worried about creating a lasting connection with my market because I didn't see the business having a future. Now, some of you here today may find you have built a business, career, or even a life without a vision for the future. Or maybe just have a vague idea of what it might be. You can relax. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes you don't need a vision. That is, until you notice things start to plateau, or you run into a hurdle, or you want to grow interest in your business. That's when things start to get a bit tricky, and you suddenly need a few tools to transform your situation. Now, from this point forward, I'm going to leave your personal vision in your capable hands and just focus on your business vision. You see, I am constantly running into founders that find themselves frustratingly lost in a business that isn't heading in the direction they wanted. They are usually in a quiet panic because nothing they do makes a difference. They simply can't ignite enough interest in their business to transform it into a thriving success. Matter of fact, I met someone like this the other night. I was at one of the STV She's the Boss networking events, chatting with an amazing female entrepreneur, full of energy, amazing woman. And she had that quiet look in her eyes that I recognize. So I took her to a corner. I asked her what had rattled her. Now, it turns out her latest business pivot wasn't getting as much interest as she had hoped. Now, her quiet desperation was every business owner's ongoing battle to connect with the market, make a profit, and see the business thrive. So I dug into her business and could see the idea had some merit. It was a great next step for the business. But she lacked a vision that would show them how to get there. She lacked a way to stand out in her market and, of course, connect with her market. That's why she was feeling stuck and frustrated. Now, I pointed this all out to her, and her business is now on track and starting to ignite interest. So well done her for taking the pointers and moving forward. Are you going through something similar right now? Well, don't worry. You are not alone. I have found the main reason someone starts their own business is because they identified a problem or an opportunity and then figured out a solution. Maybe you wanted to stick a note to someone's desk, you didn't have any sticky tape, and before you knew it, you had invented the Post-it note. Now, who here wishes they had invented the Post-it note? That's a billion-dollar industry. Anyway, you might have done some Google research and come up with a clever business name, maybe registered a couple of URLs, because let's face it, we never register just one, do we? And then built a website. You had a business dream with your sights firmly set on sales ticking over, money in the bank, and a team smiling as they came to work each day. Maybe even skipping. They're so happy to come to work. So you start your business and suddenly you have overheads, but your sales are barely covering your costs. You start to feel like you're stuck and your amazing idea starts to look like a pipe dream. Each day turns into a struggle to generate interest, make sales, raise capital, or create opportunities. So how do you turn it around? Well, my heart aches for companies in this situation because I know how they feel. I have been there too, but I didn't have anybody with the skill sets to help me. And that's why I'm talking about this today. I want to give you the steps to help you develop a vision for your business that is built on an in-depth understanding of your position in the market so that you can ignite interest in your business. But before I do, I've got to show you some interesting data, and I promise you, this is the only slide with data on it. Here are the top 3 reasons businesses fail to succeed. 35% didn't have a market for their services. I mean, really? 20% entered a market with too much competition. Well, you kind of get that. And 19% had a flawed business model. Do you have any idea what this all boils down to? It's simply a lack of research. If you jump into business without doing research, you won't be able to plan for your future or have any hope of connecting with your market. If you need to convince a bank to loan you a pot of gold or a trusted partner or raise equity to grow your business, you're going to need research that backs up and qualifies your vision. I hope you're starting to see how important research might be in your business, because it's key. It is really key. Now, here are the 3 steps you need to complete to have enough research to be able to develop a vision. You will need to learn everything you can about your customers' wants, needs, and desires, your direct competitors and what they offer. And you have to figure out what makes you unique. And I promise you, it doesn't take very long, but the advantages it gives your business are massive. When you do this research, you'll be able to effectively connect with customers, discover new and exciting opportunities, and attract loyal brand fans. Now, once you've completed your research, you can start creating your vision. A vision that everyone can understand and be a part of. A vision that is realistic and well-researched. Oh, did I mention, because this is the fact, not many of your competitors will do it, which means you get the great advantage of perhaps leapfrogging your way to the front of the market. That's how important it is. And the great thing is, You can do research at any stage of your business. Now, I strongly suggest you do it before you start a business so that you know whether it's worth the time and money. But if you're already in business and find you aren't growing as fast as you wanted, start doing some research now to identify the gaps in your vision. If you have teams in your business, then you probably already know that you need to share that overarching vision for the organization with them so they can create goals that align with that vision. So who are the vision makers? Well, they are the founders, the business builders, the risk takers who possess the ability to envision and drive the future. You could be a solopreneur, a business owner, or someone who is the head of a company. And your role is all about generating new ideas and innovating to drive the business forward. And to do that, you're going to need a well thought out vision that can transform your business into a thriving reality. Now, here's the trick. Not all visionaries are able to focus on the details and processes that would allow them to reach that goal. Some leaders and founders need the help of others to translate their vision into a plan that can be rolled out through the entire business. As a matter of fact, there's a whole book dedicated to the topic of visionaries and integrators, and it's called Rocket Fuel by Wickman and Winters. Jules is laughing because she gifted me this book, and I found it fascinating, as I'd never thought about a business like that before. Now, you see, how to do this. The purpose, okay, let me try again. So in the book, they propose that visionaries focus on creating groundbreaking ideas, and integrators make those ideas a reality. Integrators build businesses. Now, since I've said that, it's really straightforward, right? A visionary's true success will lie in how well they combine the detail of building the business with seeing the future of the business. Now, founders that aren't both visionaries and business builders tend to leave their teams frustrated because they aren't able to give them the clarity the teams need to understand how they can make the vision happen. Okay, later on, or even now, you can put it in the chat. Who here believes they are a visionary? Put it in the comments. I know what Jules is going to say, because she is definitely a visionary. We'll pop it in. We'll talk about it a little bit later. So you've got your visionary, and you're building the business. Enter the CEO. A CEO must be aware of the future, but their focus is on the now. The now is building and running a business. Same with the teams they manage. Now, it's not very often you find a CEO that has the responsibilities of a visionary. As someone who has been both an entrepreneur and had the responsibilities of a CEO, I have seen the difference between the two roles daily. Initially, as a founder, you operate as a visionary, always thinking about how to innovate and disrupt. Disruption is key. But as your company grows, you must shift to the mindset of a CEO to focus on building the business. Combining these two skill sets is very rarely found in one person. But I want to make this perfectly clear, because if you are a solopreneur, then yeah, you will need to balance being both a visionary and an integrator. And what I have found is that founders get bogged down in building the business as fast as they can and forget to create a vision for their groundbreaking business. They want to get busy building the business with zero idea how it will look in the future. They want to be able to achieve their goals. Sorry, let me try again. They will try and achieve goals along the way, but may not be moving towards their bigger vision And though that could be even holding them back by doing it this way. So if this is where you're at, this may be a wake-up call for you. For me, this is where I get the greatest satisfaction because I love building businesses and helping others develop a vision that will drive their endeavors. And I never start a new business without doing what I'm about to show you. It has saved me thousands of dollars and hours of wasted time because each step clarifies if my business idea could actually achieve my end goal and ignite enough interest to make it a success. So get comfortable, strap in, and let me share with you some of the crucial steps you'll need to take before you can confidently create a powerful vision for your business. These steps are the foundation of your business, which give you the kind of clarity that will make your market say, that is exactly what I've been looking for. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, step one. Let me ask you, how much do you know about your customers? Now, it makes sense that the clearer you understand your customers, the more focused you can be on delivering a solution that meets their wants, needs, and desires, right? Well, Mike Gosby said, whoever understands their customer best wins. And he is absolutely right. Imagine the deep connection you could have with your customer if you knew you were delivering what they wanted and pivoted when their needs changed. You would become their "that's for me" solution. Well, it's called being customer-centric. And when you put your customers at the center of your business, you change your focus from what you offer to who you are offering it to and why. Now, I'm going to use GoPro as a gold star example of a business that is customer-centric. Now, I realize they're a large business now, but don't lose sight of the fact that they also started small and have the same challenges as any startup. Now, GoPro uses their customers' needs as their superpower, and every step they take in their business, they are constantly asking themselves, what do our customers want, and how are we going to give it to them? So let's take a peek at how that works. So what GoPro does is manufacture video cameras. Nothing sexy about that. Lots of competition in the market. But who they create the cameras for drives their vision for the company. Their customers are action risk takers that want to record their adventures, and GoPro have tapped into that market. They have built a video camera that is durable and compact because that is what their customers wanted. Here's GoPro's vision statement, which explains why they do what they do. Now, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to read it to give it some impact. We dream. We have passionate ideas about what is possible in this world. Our passions lead us to create experiences and realities that expand our world and inspire those around us. It's like a mini manifesto that speaks directly to what they found out about their customers and GoPro's desire to share their customers' achievements with the rest of the world. Sorry, noise outside. Now, this isn't a statement you would use in advertising because it's meant to give their business direction and give everyone in the company a vision to rally behind. Now, if the company is pulled in another direction, they can look at their vision statement and double check if the new opportunity aligns with their vision and then make an informed decision from there. Now, for instance, if they were given an opportunity to develop a TV, because they're in hardware and manufacturing, would it align with their customers' needs? No, it would not. But if they're given an opportunity to create a TV channel for their customers, that makes sense. So let's see how they use their superpower. GoPro offers their customers the opportunity of featuring their stunts in GoPro's advertising. Now, this is a double whammy for GoPro. They get great content for free, are constantly in touch with their customer needs, and the fan gets the chance to be seen by a global audience. And this is how they've created diehard brand fans. Truly clever, isn't it? I just take a leaf from their book. It's a really amazing marketing idea. And actually, some other people are starting to do it now too. But they led the race. Now, so how do you become customer-centric? Well, if you're a startup, you can reach out to your target market and start asking them questions. Find out what they want. Find out what they need. And most importantly, find out why it's important to them. You need to think creatively about how you do it. And the faster you find the answers, the faster you can start creating that deep connection with your customers. Now, look, you could dress up as a teddy bear and canvas people on the streets. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just make it a priority to figure out your customers' wants, needs, and desires. Now, here's your goal. You need to talk to enough customers or potential customers to get a true read on those wants, needs, and desires. My warning to you is that if you can't guess at what your market wants, and you can't assume they want what you have. Otherwise, you'll be simply running on guesses and hoping your marketing will ignite some interest. This kind of hope marketing doesn't mean you aren't taking action, but instead are trying tactics, different kinds of tactics, with minimal or no research, and hoping that any action you're taking is going to help you achieve your goals. It's the scattergun approach to marketing. You shoot a scattergun and hope one of those pellets hits something of value. Now, it might be able to get you a few results that way, but it is unlikely you're going to ignite enough interest to get you the results you need to succeed. Knowing and not guessing what your customers want will give you greater focus when you are promoting your business. Look, I've got my hand up and I admit I have dabbled in hope marketing, or as I like to call it, hopeless marketing. I am embarrassed to say I spent a whole year diligently posting content on every platform I could get my hands on. It took hours of effort and brought me very little in return. You see, I assumed after my years in business that I knew what my customers were interested in. And like so many others online, I found out I didn't. Sound familiar? So I gathered my courage and I decided to call my customers and ask them what their biggest frustrations in their businesses were and why. And it wasn't what I thought it was at all, not even close. So there are a ton of ways to do customer research, but the bottom line is you need to embrace it. And luckily, you don't need a marketing degree to figure out what your customers want. You just need a little patience, and I promise you, it will pay off for your business. Make it your goal to chip away at it every day. And before long, you'll have a deeper understanding of your customers, and things will start getting a lot easier. I'm sorry about that noise in the background. Suddenly decided to do some works outside the front of the studio. Thank you.
It's okay. It's okay. We can't hear it.
Great. Fantastic. Okay, so once your customer research is done, it's time to do step 2. And that's to take a closer look at your competition. And personally, I love this part. I love this kind of research. We all know that competition is everywhere and can be other small businesses carrying the same solution as you, or you could be going head to head with market giants. Either way, it's crucial to pinpoint what makes you unique if you're going to stand out amongst all the other players in your market. So the next trick is to figure out what your point of difference is. And the only way to do that is to do a deep dive into your competitors and figure out a way to make yourself not only relevant, but unique. Makes sense, right? This is not rocket science. So let me tell you a story about how this kind of research helped one of my clients. Pretty straightforward story. A client recently came to me because they were worried that sales had dropped and they wanted to know what had changed. So we had a look at the books and we confirmed that customer activity had dropped. And they got this sinking feeling that their business was no longer on track. Quick Google search for the competitors revealed that one of them had copied their offering, and it also offered faster delivery. So my client immediately jumped on the phone and asked the customers why quick delivery was important to them. Now, you may assume you know the answer to this, but the answers the customers gave helped my client understand their needs not only better, but clarified that what they offered, their product, wasn't the problem, which is great to confirm. Now, it's important to note that it wasn't enough for my client to simply copy that offering. They had to do it better. So they immediately added a next-day delivery service, no-brainer, with an SMS confirmation on delivery, and started promoting this new solution. So sales started to rise again, but we also knew the market would catch up, and quickly. Fortunately, our research revealed no competitors for a new product they wanted to launch, which would help them stay one step ahead of the market. All that from one morning spent Googling their competitors. Was it worth it? Definitely. Should you do it? Absolutely, and often. It's important to know what your competitors are doing, from how they onboard new clients to their offering and the quality of their service. Find out what they do well. Decide if you should integrate that into your own business. Now, the other side of the coin is to discover their weaknesses. Head over to their social media and see what people are commenting on. Their comments might give you some inspiration, or even better, they might offer clues about what they need and what they aren't getting. It's all free and it's pure gold. Now, step 3. It's time to figure out what makes you unique. Okay, so once you have a handle on what your competitors are up to and what they offer, you'll be able to see how you can stand out in your market. This is often called finding a niche. So a niche is simply a segment of a larger market where you position yourself as the go-to brand for a specific audience. It makes it easier for your ideal customers to find you and allows you to focus your business on that niche and that customer. The advantages of focusing on a niche are amazing, just truly amazing. First, you'll have fewer competitors. Your brand will stand out. Marketing costs will be a lot less. We all want that. And there's an opportunity for higher profits. Ka-ching. Now, considering the number of businesses out there, finding a niche is an amazing business strategy. So I'm just going to demonstrate how this works, how a niche works, so you understand how you could do it. Let me introduce you to Nicole Begley. Now, she's a photographer, and at some point in her business, she came to the conclusion that photography was a highly competitive market, making it nearly impossible for her to stand out. So what do you do in this situation? Well, you start looking for a niche in your market that has fewer competitors. Now, Nicole isn't trying to compete with a global market for photography. She's focused on photography in North Carolina, which reduced her competition remarkably, but it was still a very competitive market. So she reached out to her customers and asked them what they needed. And much to her surprise, they were interested in photography, photographing their pets. I know. I mean, how could you figure that out unless you talk to your customers? Anyway, once she digested that, she decided she was able to combine her passion for animals with photography and create a new offering, a course. Nicole's new niche became pet photography courses in North Carolina. It went gangbusters. She really could make a difference in that niche because she knew from her research that no one else was doing it. She could focus on marketing to that smaller niche, build interest in her course, and know she had less competition. Well, actually 0 at the time, but I'm sure they've caught up since then. A niche just makes sense. I hope you can see how research can guide how you would build your business. And as I said before, that research is going to help you know when you start pulling all this together for your business vision, and will determine how well you connect with your market. Now, by focusing on a niche market, it will give you the opportunity to become the go-to brand for that market and allow you to establish your credibility over competing generalists. You want your audience to see what you offer and say, this is for me. And to do that, you need to be super focused on your niche and your customers' needs so that you can make that decision easier for them. You need to keep digging into your competitors and the market until you find a way to differentiate yourself in your space. Now, I don't know if you've heard of him. Seth Godin has a cute little book called Purple Cow. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of this book. This book, I've read this book a long time ago. It's a little old now, but it still rings true. In it, he explains that you need to create something remarkable or you'll be invisible. Something remarkable is worth talking about, worth paying attention to. You need to be a purple cow in a paddock of black cows. It doesn't matter what size business you have, you still need to understand how you differentiate yourself from your competitors and how you fulfill your customers' needs. Just like Nicole, you need to find a niche that is perfect for you. Something that brings together your passion with an opportunity and a need. Now, a little segue. Here's a little known fact. I went to high school with Steve Irwin. Anybody that's listened to Jules' podcast with me will know this. And we both had a passion for conservation and animal welfare. I went on to set up a national whale rescue group called Orca. But Steve, he had a bigger vision. His vision included sharing his passion with a larger audience so he could affect change on a global scale at a time when conservation was a hot topic. And at the time, he was the only Aussie pitching this unique idea to a US audience. And boy, did they love him. Now, he went on to become a US TV sensation, no doubt. He also increased the size of his father's zoo and invested heavily in conservation and research. And the truly clever part was that he got us all to share his vision and ignited an interest in what he was doing. Well done, Steve. Now, his legacy lives on through his wife and children, but their vision for the business will be different. Why? Because the market is different and the competition in that market has changed. And no doubt their vision for the future will have moved on with these changes. You see, your vision has the power to drive your business. If you can give your business, it will give your business direction, allow you to make plans and create clarity about what your business stands for. As a founder, it will give you confidence when you're speaking about your business, and it will be your backup, of course, when you feel overwhelmed with all the balls you have in the air. If you have teams, it will give them focus and align their efforts so everyone is moving towards the same understood goal. It will give everyone that works with your company clarity about who, how, and where you promote your business. And it will be the measure for whether you are achieving your goals and when it's time to expand. Now, what people tend to forget is that no matter what size business you have, you need to have a vision. It's a powerful tool that many smaller businesses overlook. So, how do you create a vision for the future, I hear you ask? Well, a vision brings together your research and then goes on to uncover 3 key points: the what, why, and how. Now, your vision statement will speak to your future, your customers, and the outcome you will create in the world when you achieve your goal. In a nutshell, it will state how things will be different and what impact you will make. It starts with, what problem do you solve? And what is your audacious goal for the future? This is all about your solution and your vision for the future. Now, don't forget to make that audacious goal both challenging and resilient for the future, because it will be standing with you for quite some time. And you want it to be able to be flexible. Next, you need to figure out your why. Why do you do what you do? You see, your why is the big idea that you want to share with the world, and it captures the emotional core of who you are and what you stand for. Your why combines your customer needs or customers' needs with your solution, and is all about how you're going to benefit and enrich your customers' lives. Now, if you want to see a great explanation for your why, check out Simon Sinek's video on YouTube. It's amazing. The first time I saw it, it completely changed the way I looked at my business. Let me know in the comments if you've actually seen it. And if not, watch it and then reach out to me and let me know what you think of it. I thought it was an amazing little video. Next, you have to describe how you're going to achieve your audacious goal. How are you going to get there? And how are you going to make it happen? Once you have the answers for these questions, you can start working on a vision for your business that is well researched and can be your guide to fulfilling that vision. Now, to get an idea of how it works, let's have a look at a couple of vision statements from companies you may know and see how they work. Just a couple, so bear with me. Now, check out that McDonald's vision statement, which is really well researched. I won't read it. So the what is serving more customers delicious food. Okay, delicious might be debatable, but anyway, it's their vision statement. They can say what they like. Their why is to become an even better McDonald's. And finally, their how is to move with velocity to drive profitable growth. It ticks the boxes for what, why, and how, and makes goal setting for people inside McDonald's simple because they know what is important to the business. But I want to make this clear. They didn't just make this up. This is based on research into their market and customers. Their customers weren't interested in the best burger or gluten-free, low sugar solutions. Their customers wanted quick, consistent, cost-effective meals, and that is exactly what they're going to give them. Not my burger of choice, but there you go, very popular. Now here's a vision statement I found for TED. Now it seems to be spread ideas, which to me seems a little too simplistic. Their what is ideas, and their goal is to spread ideas. But they don't seem to say why or how they're going to do this. Now, we know from experience their how is spreading ideas through events and social media, because we've all watched their videos on YouTube, right? But why? Why are they doing it? And what is their audacious goal? See, I had never really thought about this until I was doing this presentation. Maybe it isn't any more complex than spreading ideas. Still, for me, the founders have given us no indication about the future of the company, which makes me start to wonder if they're just spinning their wheels, which is never a good sign for any organization. Maybe they're getting a bit stale. That was my conclusion when I was thinking about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is a vision statement for a smaller business, and it's mine. It combines my audacious goal with my customer research and how I intend on achieving that goal. It's clear, simple, and gives me direction. Again, it isn't something I would use in any of my marketing. It's just for me and the people that work with me. Now, this is the great thing about doing a vision statement. When I wrote it, I felt like a great burden had been lifted, because I felt the business suddenly had clarity and purpose, which is what we're always looking for. Now, here's the thing. A vision statement isn't an actionable plan. It's not a step 1, step 2, step 3 solution. A vision statement is a tool you can refer to when you don't know what the next step is, or if you're changing direction. It's your guide to keeping you on track for the future. Because let's face it, there are so many distractions, and it is very easy for your business to lose its way and become disconnected from its market. Now, as Jack Welch, former chairman and CEO of General Electric, said, good business leaders create a vision, articulate the vision, passionately own the vision, and relentlessly drive it to completion. I'd hire him in a minute. I have no idea if he was a CEO visionary, but it sure sounds like he was. I'd like him on my board. Now, at this point, I hope you can see how important a little research and a clear vision will have for how well you effectively ignite interest in your market and guide the future of your business. It is crucial that you build a business that has passion and direction. And when you do, there is no telling how far you can go. Every business needs an inspiring vision to ignite interest, spread ideas, and make a difference in the world. But even the greatest vision means nothing without execution. It doesn't matter if you're a startup or manufacturing spacesuits for NASA. You need to complete these simple steps if you want to build a business that will thrive. Now, just to demonstrate how this works, because I was recently working with one of the top 10 richest businessmen in Australia on his latest venture. Now, he needed to, this is really interesting, he needed to create a pitch deck with the kind of effective messaging that would get him some very serious New York bankers to back him so he could be listed on the NASDAQ, which is no easy task. His solution was a game-changing alternate power solution, which you'll probably hear about soon enough. It was amazing. However, he just couldn't ignite a level of interest in his business idea or his business at all to move it forward. It was easier for me because I was an objective third party. I could develop a vision for the business that would connect that purpose with his current market of backers and investors. Now, it worked a treat, and he is in the process of being listed on the NASDAQ and on track for fulfilling, ready for this, $100 million equity raise. This is game-changing business stuff. He couldn't do it himself. As you've seen, vision can drive your business and keep you on track if you understand the what, why, and how of your business. So if you're starting a business, don't do anything further until you have worked through these steps. I promise you, it will save you time and money in the long run, because this groundwork will allow you to ignite interest in your business and connect with your market. Or if you have discovered you spent way too much time building your business and think it's time to circle back to your vision, update it, or create a new vision, then I'm here to help. Because you don't have to do this on your own. Sometimes you simply need someone that can objectively look at your business and tell you where the gaps in your cunning plan are. If you're a visionary and all this research makes you shudder, then I can make this process less tedious for you. Or maybe you're an integrator and you simply want to be shown how to do this so you can do it yourself. Either way, I have a solution, whatever your needs may be. You just need to ask yourself, where do I want to be a year from now? Do you want a business that is effectively connecting with your market? A business that is growing and thriving? Because I know you have what it takes to build a business that will ignite interest, a profound interest in your solution. You may just need a little help. So if you're tired of the status quo, reach out to me. Let me help you ignite interest in your business. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Antonia. That was great. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. Hang on now, I'm just going to get it onto the gallery so I can see everyone. So big thank you for that. Has anyone got any questions? I've got a few little notes that I was
Absolutely.
I was making as well. Has anyone got any questions they'd like to ask Antonia, or comment on anything that she said, or
even reflect on your business?
I was wondering, Antonia, about what happens in a case like mine where I have different product offerings with different customer market groups, like they're not even all the same. So, you know, one might be a corporate entity, others are individuals, you know, some are just individuals looking to do things for themselves, and then others are, you know, business owners. So
well,
I'm assuming you've got to do.
Yeah, you've got to, it's really, this is a really tough one, and I'm going to be hard on you here. You shouldn't have a business that, if you have 3 businesses, you've got to really look at the one that you want to concentrate on primarily for revenue, or if you're increasing your circle of influence, whatever is the primary one, focus on that and buckle yourself into that one. Because there's no point in being pulled in different directions for different businesses or markets if they're not delivering results. And it's a tough call to do, because I found myself in a similar situation. It never goes well unless you can focus. And how can you promote yourself well to all those markets? You can't be everything to everybody. You know this, of course. So if I were to say to you, Carrie, which is the one you would get the most results for, and I'm not going to say what kind of result that might be, which one would you focus on? Which would be your primary business?
I think part of the problem that I've had is that I shifted my focus, believing that if I focused on business, it would bring in more revenue. But I've had more trouble trying to get to the person who makes the decisions. Whereas when you focus on individuals, you've got the person in front of you who's the decision maker about whether they're going to spend money with you or not. So I think it's interesting in terms of where you then make that focus point.
Then I would suggest the word that keeps coming up is revenue. If you're looking for revenue and that's your primary goal right now, then you've got to pick which one you think has the least resistance and double down on that. Do your research into that. Yes, corporates are hard to get through to. It does take I've done it too. I've had the gatekeepers of buyers in America not allowing me to get through to the people I need to, but you do it over time. So if that takes quite a bit of time, and you don't have time, you've got to focus on the one that has the appeal for you and double down on that. And then as that one gets in, that whole business gets organized and you're seeing results, then if you've got time, then start focusing on the other one. It's really up to manpower. If you have the brain capacity, the energy to focus on several markets after my telling you everything you need to do for each one of those, and you think you can do it, then go for it. But I would suggest that would be the hardest road to go down, having done it myself. It's not impossible, but it might drive you insane.
Can I just say though, is it, Kerry, are you talking about one business in multiple markets or 3 different businesses? Because otherwise, wouldn't you just...
No, so this is a big part of, what's happened over time with me is that I've it's all the same. I was thinking actually, Antonia, when you said about niche, one of the things I was watching Gary Vaynerchuk say this morning, your niche is you, right? So I can do lots of things in lots of different places. The problem that we have is then narrowing that focus down to the, the one that's actually going to bring you in money. And in my case, not just about bringing in money, but I moved from individuals to corporates because I was trying to actually, sorry, the dog's just come in and he's all excited to see me. I'm trying to focus on having a wider influence actually, but in the interim, because I've stopped focusing on individuals, then I've got a revenue problem because when I focus on corporates, they're much slower. It's slow burn, right? Individuals far more inclined to pay me to help them do individual work. But I moved away from one-on-one because it just isn't having a bigger influence as it needs to. So I think there's a transition point in there, but I don't know where it is.
You have to have a solid business model because revenue is part of that. If you don't see revenue coming in fast enough, it's not good. That is not a good result. So it's kind of a stage thing. When you look at your business, you go, what's the primary concern? Revenue, influence, whatever. It's creating the business. Remember one of the three things people fail at in business is they have a flawed business model. Well, you look at that and you go, okay, you've got to map it out, map your journey out. And it's kind of linear. It's not several layers, it's linear. You've only got so much time, right? So you're going to focus on the one that's going to make you the money so that you can get to the one that has your passion. Hopefully there's the same business, because if you can do something with your passion, then you're going to do so much better and people are going to get it. But do the one that sits comfortably with you, that gets you to where you want to go. And you in your heart know which one that is. If you love and are passionate about working with corporates, then that's great. But if you're just doing it because you think it's going to be a cash cow down in the future, then that's probably not a good driver for a business. It will get stale pretty fast. So it's up to you to weigh it all up. Anybody else have any weigh in on this as well?
Yep, Jean has got her hand up.
Yes.
Oh, look, I was just going back to the frustration, because especially if we're wanting to clarify our message. I was just thinking, because when you're talking, Kerry, I'm thinking, if we go back to our customers and find out what their frustrations are, and this can work with corporate or individuals, right? What their frustrations are and why, then it's kind of like we've already engaged them. So, I mean, I don't work with corporates, Kerry, so it's a different place. But one thing I was actually going to ask related to this was, you ring people when you want to know what they think, Antonia. But a lot of people, and again, embracing the corporate and the individual, a lot of people are really busy at the moment and they don't have time to hop on the phone. And it might be something that they go, oh, yes, I'd love to give you an answer, but I just can't right now. Would you recommend doing the whole quiz, like question thing? And would you do that on social media where you do, like, you know, what do you call it? A
Questionnaire?
Poll
yeah,
or a
that's the word.
survey.
A poll, that's the word.
Well-
Or would you send an email out to your list saying, look, I'd really love to know what, you know, what your frustrations are and why. I've got a little form here. Can you fill it in and send it back to me? What would you recommend doing best if you can't talk to people on the phone?
Well, you get less information if you don't get them on the phone. It's so much more efficient. And I found that with my customers, just as an aside for me, my customers loved hearing from me and they loved talking about their businesses. So it was an easy ask. I just said, have you got 5 minutes? I just want to pick your brain about, you know, what difficulties you're having with business. It's nothing to do with making revenue. I just need to know why this is the case. Can you just answer some questions? I had those questions and I just bam them out, and they loved it. And they actually gave me more time because they were really happy to talk about their business. But if you are, let's say you're a startup and you don't have anybody, yeah, you can certainly do, I wouldn't say a poll would give you much information, but a questionnaire. I have done questionnaires online before. You don't get much response. If you have an email list, it's better to contact them through your email list and do it that way. But then I did both. I did absolutely everything I possibly could and contacted 50 people, 50 customers. And yeah, the questionnaires just weren't as in depth. They kind of do the rote answers really fast. So yeah, it's up to you. You can get creative. It doesn't have to be all done in one day, 1 week, 1 month. It's just chipping away at it. And getting somebody on the phone is so easy. It's easier than you think. I didn't want to do it. I had huge resistance to this. And when I did it, I went, oh, okay, I get it.
Do you think that, Antonia, do you think though that people find it hard to tell you the things they don't like about your business to your face? That
Oh, it's not about my business they're talking about. They're talking about their business.
Right.
So I'm not getting anything out of this other than information. So you make that very clear at the beginning. You
So
say
it's about them and their business rather than their experience with you.
it's all about the customer. Yeah. It's nothing to do with my business. I don't get anything out of it other than information and letting me know what they need. They need for their businesses. Could be completely separate to what I offer. And some of the answers I got for AOK Creative were they wanted answers to social media, which is not something I could offer them other than.
Hang on a minute, but no, but that, so you were talking about your business because they were then talking about AOK Creative and the service.
No, they were saying the problems were social media, which is not something I could address anyway. So
right.
yeah, so you weigh up what their answers are, what your services are, and how you can pivot to match if you want to. I mean,
I have another question on that. I'm just curious, continuing this conversation, Antonia. Did you find that once you'd asked them the questions that they were, I'm just wondering, I don't need stats or anything like that, but did you notice a marked increase in the number of people that wanted to work with you because you went, I'm not here to sell you my stuff, I'm interested in what makes you tick? Did you have?
No, because that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. It would have been a great bonus, but no, it was more by being in contact, they were more in contact with me. It freshened up the relationship. And this, yeah, you can't talk to all I've got thousands of customers and I can't talk to all of them. I can't keep in contact with all of them. But it did help. It did help with some of the relationships, yes. Okay, and I was front of mind again, but that wasn't the intention.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Any more questions?
Look, what I can say is business is hard. It is very difficult to ignite interest in any market. But again, find out what they want and why they want it. And look, Carrie, you've got your job cut out for you because you've got to decide what that will be. But just just chip away at it. Just ask a few questions, and slowly it becomes very clear what's required. And I'd also say it would really help if you did have a vision for your business. Then once you have a little bit of information, because that vision statement can change, because you need that inspiration, you need that driver to give you direction when you get there.
I do have the vision. The vision is actually very clear, but it's also very big.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part.
It's very
ambitious. That's right. Yeah, and I think that's part of where the challenge comes in, because I kind of went one-on-one. It doesn't work fast enough. You go bigger. You've got to get through more gatekeepers to get to the right person, and even then, the problem can be like looking them straight in the face, and they still don't get what a little compassion can do. It's just quite.
And that's corporate. We all, I guess, everyone here has experienced the dilemma of trying to get a damn answer out of a corporate. I mean, it takes months. It takes luck. It takes you just have to be there all the time, and that's why it can be a lengthy journey with a corporate. Or you find yourself someone who's that'll shoehorn you into the one company, and then you're off and racing. And that's contacts, that's networking, and that's what Jules is good at. A master.
Jenny's got her hand up too.
Oh, sorry, Jenny.
Hi, sorry. I run a digital ecosystem that connects consumers with for-purpose organisations, so charities, not-for-profits, B Corps, social enterprises. We did a lot of research and in fact had those for-purpose organisations, conscious consumers and service providers to the for-purpose industry. So there are 3 different types of clients. We did a lot. So they co-designed the actual ecosystem, the functionality. We did literally presentations, workshops, questionnaires, surveys, one-on-ones, and got a whole lot of feedback that all led into the design, the pricing, everything along those lines. But we're still finding, when we talk to people, they absolutely love it, love the concept, love what we're doing, but no one's actually using it. When I say no one, it's being used, but not at the levels that we thought it would be. Mm-hmm. I don't like to do social media, but we have a social media presence. We're doing 3 posts a week and that type of thing, and different messages for consumers to organisations on different. So we use LinkedIn predominantly to try and target the organisations, and use Facebook and Instagram for the consumers. But we're still sort of finding that people like posts and all that, but I just wonder if people are just over social media and over the engagement, and the more people you have following you, that's the more stuff you have to, look at every day. And is there just a lot of burnout going on at the moment?
Yeah, because we're all, you know what, I was wondering about this, and for me, I'm going to park this for a minute, because the social media discussion is something a little bit different. But what it boils down to is, how do you ignite that interest in your users, the active people that you have to integrate into this whole solution? And that is, you've got to kind of do a GoPro thing where you find out where that point is, where they're truly interested, because they are interested. They've got to get something out of it. So if there's a way that you can find, and it's pure marketing, it's kind of logical. If you can find a way that they get featured, or they get the advantage of something out of what you're doing, I'd have to look at your business. Yeah. Then they'll start reacting and showing interest in it.
Every second social media post that we do highlights the organisation or the good that the for-purpose sector is doing more generally. So it might highlight a World Refugee Day, or highlight a number of organisations working in that refugee space, or just focus on one of them, that type of thing. So we're doing all of that to...
I don't think... So if you were to boil it down to the one person you would like to have interest in your your platform, let's say. Is it a platform?
Yeah, we call it an ecosystem, but yes, it's a two-sided.
Ecosystem.
It's two-sided though, not one-sided.
What are
We're
they look
selling
like?
our products or services? We're selling,
Yeah.
helping consumers to find the organisations that are tackling the social and environmental issues they care about, and then they choose how they support them. So it could be shopping,
But what does
donating, finding courses and events, paid and volunteer jobs, and collaboration opportunities.
that person look like?
The consumer or the organisation?
The person that you want to ignite interest in.
Well, we want to ignite interest, as it's a two-sided ecosystem. So we want to find the decision makers in the for-purpose organisations. Generally speaking, they're quite similar in terms of age, social profile.
Are they the people that you want to be using the ecosystem?
The people to be using it. We have a woman, our persona is woman named Susie. She's in her 40s and above. She has the children have either left home or are very close to doing it. She's the one that makes the majority of the household buying decisions and other decisions. And now that she's got the kids off her hands or nearly off her hands, obviously that's changing at the moment because people aren't moving out of home. But yeah, she's now looking to live her values and act and transact in alignment with her values.
Okay, so you want Susie to interact in your ecosystem.
Yep.
But to what does she get out of it? I mean, there's got to be something in it for her, some internal satisfaction, some sort of.
Yeah, so she can search by sustainable development goals and have over 30 impact areas, find the organisation tackling the things she cares about.
No. You're not talking to me. You've got to connect with her on a personal level so that she keeps coming back. Okay, we all do a little bit of dabbling in our charities. We kind of flap around the outside of them and give now and then. But what you want is Susie to be in there watching, doing, interacting with something, but you're not giving her an opportunity to do that because the relationship you have is come when you like, but what you have to do is invite her to see and experience exciting things that interest her, and she gets probably some profile out of it or some satisfaction out of it. I don't know what it would be. You'd have to ask the Susie to see what they would want. It's like GoPro. Their audience wants to be in front of a global audience. They want to be seen, they want to be recognized for what they're doing, and they have this community that they've created of risk takers, of action risk takers. And you've got to find your Susie and find what community she wants to hang out with to get her into that ecosystem. I mean, it sounds absolutely amazing. I just think you're missing that one little entity. Anybody have any inspiration about that as well? Take it a bit further. So yeah, definitely delve into the Susie and what she wants. And I would call them. I would just call them and say, what lights you up about this and why? And then the why will indicate what you add to the platform or how you market your solution, your ecosystem, so that it does generate that kind of interest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we have done this research, and it's basically the chance to live their values.
Yeah.
Not just.
That's so generic. It doesn't really answer the question of how do they it creates a question, how do you live your values? That's so nebulous. It's like if I were to live my values, I'd be saying, okay, for me it's animal welfare. We discussed that in my presentation, but if there was an opportunity for me to go cuddle the guide dog puppies at a venue, I want to hear about it and I'm going to post about it, and you're going to take photos of me doing it, and therefore I want to be in there, I want to see it. It's really the hands-on pull. You got to find the levers that make them want to go in there and find out what's going on, or be notified of what's going on, and then posting what goes on. And it's all that.
Yep.
Even like with everything, like she's the boss. What are the levers that get people to interact, to come, to do? It's asking that Susie the question, what do you need and why?
Mm.
Once you have your why, then you can start thinking about how you can deliver that. Yeah.
There is I know you talk about you talk about the frustrations and everything, the why. Sometimes people can't articulate the why. I mean, I've watched Simon Sinek's thing, and sometimes for some of us, there are so many whys we don't know what to choose. Do you think that is that just me, or is that other people as well?
No,
You have to have your questions customized to find out exactly. They have to be smart questions. So for me, it wasn't how's business going? It was what difficulties are you having in your business? And why are you having these difficulties? Or you drill down, because I knew from my conversations that I wanted to help businesses. So we want to help Susie. We want to help your customers. And you got to figure out, okay, we've got a general idea what their problems are, and ask several layers of questions that drill down slowly to exactly where it might be. It might be a bit difficult at first to figure out where the topics come in that has the most impact on what you want. But the question, let's say, what difficulties are you having with your business? Oh, well, my social media is not working and people aren't interacting as well as they would, and I'm not getting enough customers, whatever. But why aren't they?
Yep. Guys, we're going to have to wrap this up because we've got 2 minutes until 1:30, and I've got another meeting coming. Jenny, maybe you want to have a chat with Antonia. Just what springs to mind for me is I don't think enough people know about it, Jenny. So I don't think 3 times a week is posting enough. And certainly you could probably be doing some publicity and seeing if you can get something in the media around what it is that you're doing, because I think that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of women that would love it, but just don't know that it exists.
Yep.
And with your corporate clients, you need to get in there at a time like now when they are thinking about the budget that they're sitting on that they have to get rid of. And I saw you did a post in She's the Boss, but I think that's the post, or that's the article that goes out in CEO magazine or in the business media, because I think that's where they're going. How do we work out what charity we should support? It's all too difficult. We'll go for, WWF or Save the Children or something that's really easy.
Yep.
Because it's all too hard. But so you need to be doing a whole lot of stuff around what it is that, the values of the organization, and are they aligning it with charities they're supporting and things like that.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
PR.
When you were describing that person, I'm like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
We all were. I would say we all were. Yeah. What would draw us into the ecosystem?
Okay. This has been fantastic. Antonia, you're amazing. Thank you so much. If any of you want to get a hold of Antonia, obviously she's in the Facebook group and you probably know how. Antonia@aok.com.au. But thank you so much, Antonia. This has been brilliant. I'm going to turn the recording off now and see you all at the online lunch on Friday, if not before then. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.